Welcome to the Page Turner Adventures Creative Literacy Program, filled with crafts and activities that get kids excited about books and reading. We are going to celebrate Junkanoo, which is the Bahamian version of Mardi Gras. It is a huge festival, a parade actually, that takes place in the Bahamas on Christmas and New Year's, and it is just a blast, a huge party, and people wear these elaborate, gorgeous, huge, enormous costumes that they make. They spend all year, teams of people spend all year making these huge costumes. And they're made out of all recycled materials. They're made out of cardboard and crepe paper, and that's pretty much it. Paint and, other stuff like that. So it's the perfect craft to do with kids and teens. So we're just gonna make Junkanoo hats. You can make a whole costume if you like, but we're just gonna make these hats. I'm gonna show you some of my Junkanoo hats. Here's one. Oh, yes, and pardon my Junkanoo hat hair that I'm going to have throughout this piece. Hopefully not too badly. Here's another one that I made. Yes. There you go. And if you can see, I don't know if you can tell what they are, but I'll show you what the base is made out of. But this uses these feather dusters from the dollar store. Love the dollar store. That's where I get, if my stuff isn't out of the trash or recycled, I get it out of the dollar store. So I love these feather duster things. So that's what this one uses. Also some a little boa action. Here's another one with some other party supply stuff from the dollar store. I'll model that one. There you go. And then, oh, I like this one. This one, actually, here you go. This is some a bag from dry cleaning. So, we use everything around here. I don't know if you can see, there's some little appliques that I used from a sweater from the 1980s. Love the 80s. Pull those things off. Great for crafts. Anyway, I'm going to put all this stuff over here, and I'm going to show you. Oh, here's one more that I made too that is a little different, that has some fabric on it. That one actually fits. There we go. And okay, so bad hat hair. Woo! Junkanoo hats. They are so much fun to make. And again, this is one of those projects that you can do. I've done it with little kids, big kids, teens, even adults you can make Junkanoo hats with. They are a lot of fun. And the base is simply a paper bag. Really, that's all you need is 1 or 2 paper grocery bags. Now, this extra stuff, whoo, there's things flying around. This extra piece on the front is just a piece of cardboard. So if you want to get a little more elaborate, you can use some cardboard. I'm going to use one of these old box tops from, one of those banker's boxes. You can even say Riley's Notebooks on here. So it's a recycled thing. And then you can just decorate it however you want. Go crazy with it. Have fun. You can use paint. You can use tissue paper, which is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use some recycled tissue paper that came from, leftover from some other crafts. That's what's nice about these hats too, is that you can just pull out everything that you have left over. Clean out your craft closet, stick it on a hat or a costume, because also what you can do is have contests, just like they do for Junkanoo. You can have the kids see who can make the most elaborate or the craziest or the, use the most feathers, whatever you want to use for their hat. I am also going to use some feathers. I have a piece of an old boa and, yes, my feather duster. So we'll use those later. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to make the base of the hat, because that is the most important piece. We'll put this down here. So all you're going to do is take your paper grocery bag. Now, you can just use 1 bag. I like to use 2 just to make it a little stiffer, give it a little bit more oomph, especially if you're going to paint it and attach stuff to it. You don't have to, but that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take 2 bags. I'm going to put 1 bag inside the other. And now I'm just going to roll the edges. That's it. It's a little hard to do this sitting down, but we're going to try it. So I'm going to roll the edges like this. You can actually measure it on your head. I actually recommend measuring it on your head, or have the kids measure their own heads, or if you're working with younger kids, measure it on their heads. And to make it smaller, you just kind of fold it in a little bit and then roll. So now Depending on how high you want your hat, if you want it to be tall, you can leave it there, or you can do another roll, which I think I'll do a little bit more of a roll. Okay, there it is. There's the base of my hat. Any hat, this is how it's going to start out, any of these kinds of paper bag hats. And, you know, I could leave it like this. You can just glue stuff on it like this, or you can spray paint it, which is what I like to do. I like to spray paint them. So again, depending on the age kids you have, depending on what your situation is, you can maybe spray paint them beforehand. So I'm actually just going to take apart one of the pieces that I already did, because the way I attached these other pieces was with Velcro. I'll show you. I attached them with Velcro. You do not have to do this, but by doing this, it made it easier for me to store them and stack them. So if you want to, you can do that. I also even attached this feather duster with Velcro, but you can just use tape and you can hot glue it right on or tape it, or you almost don't even need to do that. These just kind of stick right in there as well. However you want to attach it. I'm going to take these off. We're just going to stay with this paper bag base. I'm actually going to set this aside for a minute while I make the cardboard part of my hat that I'm going to attach. So I'm just going to take my cardboard box top and I'm just going to cut kind of an oval shape. I'm going to leave the bottom flat though. So here we go. But really we're going to kind of cover this with feathers and paper and all kinds of stuff. So it's not that important that it's exact. Okay, so there it is. There's my base. And again, you can decorate it however you want to decorate it. So I am going to use just tissue paper. I'm not even going to do any paint. Some of these other ones, like this one, I painted it. I added some glitter glue, some pom-poms. This one, I'm just going to do some tissue paper and glue. And I'm just going to do little pieces of tissue paper all over. So here we go. So people spend all year long making these huge, elaborate costumes. They weigh a lot. They're these big, very, very big, beautiful creations. And then there are contests with the different groups that create these costumes. So you can have a contest with your kids and with your teens to see who can create either the best hat, or you can create an entire costume from recycled cardboard and paper bags and whatever kinds of materials that you have, and see what they come up with. Okay, I think that we are done decorating our piece of cardboard. I think it looks pretty good. So now I do want to add some feathers though around the edges, because I just like the way it looks and it gives it that kind of Junkanoo look. You can add feathers or not add feathers, whatever you have lying around. So I have this piece of a boa, which I'm going to just glue onto the outside of my piece. Just add a little bit of glue. Okay, so there I have some feathers. I think it's looking pretty good. I do want to add one more thing. I want to add my feather duster. Now I understand if you are working with a lot of kids, having a feather duster for everybody might not be feasible, but you know, I want to add one to this. So do what you want to do, add whatever pieces you want to add, you know, have fun with it. So I'm just going to duct tape this onto the back right here. There we go. Now the final piece is just going to be to attach that to this base. Now you can do this however you want to do it. You can do it with tape, you can do it with Velcro like I did over here, but I'm just going to attach it to this part, and I am going to use some hot glue just for time's sake right now. If you want to use hot glue, that's up to you. If you don't, you can just use regular glue, or double-sided tape would work well for this also. So here we go. All right, there it is. My Junkanoo hat, and I am ready for fun in the Bahamas. For more great crafts and activities, visit our blog at pageturneradventures.com.